Welcome to the Daily Business and Finance Show. In today's episode, we dive into the shocking plunge of Cassa Sciences after a fraud indictment, Marjorie Taylor Greene's latest stock buys including ASML and CrowdStrike, and the contrasting views on economy from Biden and Trump in their first presidential debate. We'll also discuss JPM's Kalanovic questioning S&P 500's year-to-date gain, the inflation debate between Biden and Trump easing PCE inflation in May as expected. Stay with us as we explore Walgreens' price target cut by B of A due to narrow pharmacy margins, Peter Thiel's predictions for Bitcoin's future growth, and Tractor Supply shelving its climate and diversity goals after pushback. Stay tuned right after this short ad break to learn more about these intriguing stories. Cassa Sciences has experienced a more than 40% decline in their stock value subsequent to a fraud indictment involving Hoyin Wang, a consultant and researcher for the company. Wang stands accused of manipulating data associated with Cassa's Alzheimer's medication, Simufilam. It is alleged that through these actions, he was able to secure funding amounting to $16 million from the National Institutes of Health on behalf of the company. The charges brought against him encompass major fraud, wire fraud, as well as making false statements.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman, has broadened her investment portfolio. She has acquired stakes in tech companies like ASML Holding and CrowdStrike, among others. The worth of each stake she holds is between $1,001 to $15,000. Her investments also extend to Costco, Lululemon, Nestle, and NextEra Energy. In addition to these investments, she has bought U.S. Treasury bills valued between $100,001 to $250,000.
In the most recent presidential debate, economic issues were a major point of contention between the two candidates. Biden asserted that no inflation had taken place during his tenure due to a stagnant economy. On the other hand, Trump attributed current inflation to ineffective leadership. Biden praised America's rapidly expanding economy, while Trump looked back fondly on the prosperity before COVID-19 struck. The topic of job creation and loss was also broached, with both candidates expressing divergent views on how tariffs affect consumers. Biden emphasized spending on climate change and rejoining the Paris Accord. However, Trump criticized these actions as being too expensive for the United States alone to bear. Tax reforms and national debt were additional topics of discussion in this debate. Concerns over Medicare and Social Security's future were also raised.
Marco Kalanovic from JP Morgan has issued a warning that the S&P 500 may be overvalued. He predicts a potential decrease of 20% by the end of this year, attributing this to indications of an economic slowdown in the United States and reduced corporate profit forecasts. Despite witnessing a 14% rise in the first half of 2024, Kalanovic points out an inconsistency between high equity valuations and the business cycle. He further highlights difficulties for large tech companies such as Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft in sustaining their price momentum.
In a recent broadcasted argument, ex-President Donald Trump and incumbent President Joe Biden had a disagreement over inflation and the state of the economy. Trump asserted that he left an incredible situation for Biden, who retorted by attributing the economic slump to Trump's poor handling of the COVID-19 crisis. Despite escalating inflation during Biden's tenure, job growth has also been observed. This argument occurs as surveys indicate that 22% of U.S. citizens consider economy, unemployment, and jobs as crucial issues currently.
In the month of May, there was no change in the Lemon_TM Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE, price index. It mirrored April's rise of 0.3%. When compared to last year, the index has seen a 2.6% increase. The core PCE that does not account for food and energy expenses rose by a mere 0.1%. This is the smallest increase since November of 2023 and hints at a possible rate cut by the Federal Reserve within this year. The prices for goods saw an increase of 0.6%, services experienced a slight rise of 0.1%, whereas energy prices dropped by 2.1%. Growth in personal spending was slightly under projected figures at 0.2%, however personal income exceeded expectations with an increase of 0.5%.
Walgreens Boots Alliance stock is poised for a fifth consecutive day of decline as the company plans to shutter a substantial number of its U.S. outlets. The price target has been slashed by half by Bank of America Securities, which continues to hold an underperform rating. The bank has also downgraded its earnings per share forecast for 2024 and 2025. This decision is based on reduced retail revenue and the potential threat to the existing dividend if there's no improvement in profitability.
Peter Thiel, a Bitcoin investor and the ex-CEO of PayPal, has voiced skepticism regarding the substantial future expansion of the digital currency. Even though there's been a 39.3% surge this year, Thiel offloaded a portion of his Bitcoin investment worth $100 million that he made last year when its value was approximately $30,000. He has also put money into Ethereum but continues to be unsure about significant price hikes.
Tractor Supply is pulling back on its diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, policies due to negative reactions from customers. The firm will also discontinue its objectives related to carbon emissions, shifting their focus towards land and water preservation instead. Going forward, the company's priorities will be centered around issues pertinent to rural America such as animal welfare and support for veterans. Sponsorship for pride festivals and voting campaigns will no longer continue. And that's a wrap for today on the Daily Business and Finance Show. Stay informed, stay invested. Until next time, keep aiming for those financial stars. I'm Montgomery Jones.
And I'm Amalia Dupre. Until we meet again tomorrow, have a great rest of your day or night.
This content is sourced from the Seeking Alpha website, so support our podcast by becoming a Seeking Alpha Premium subscriber. See the show notes page for links to sign up. This episode is produced by Classic Studios. This podcast provides information only and should not be construed as financial or business advice. Check out our other podcasts in our network at classicstudios.com.